Hello, good people. Glad you're here. This is the third workout of week number 2. It is strength extras, and boy, was it a fun one. This week I managed to pack in a little bit more than the last time, and we also added in a couple new goodies. Alright, let's jump right in. Goblet squats first, as we're going to be working legs with some reverse lunges today. Always trying to improve that ankle range of motion and getting in a little bit of false grip practice too. Today I was feeling pretty good for the workout. It's a good sign. End of the week, we've already done both of the other higher intensity workouts and a parkour session. We still feel good for another one, so we'll see how it goes throughout the coming weeks of the program. I am noticing, in the workouts at least, a little more mobility in that ankle. It's not translating much into outside of the workouts. After a rest period, my body's positioning, it snaps back to normal. But at least we can gain a little bit of traction here. I'm working in more static stretches and holds and stuff throughout the day. It seems it's a little bit easier if I just do that as a part of walking around. If I'm standing on something, we'll work it in. If I'm just idle, we'll work it in. And while we're here, we might as well play around with some different swing variations. So we're going to go for alternating hands and also alternating B stance kettlebell swings. Lots of terms here. B stance just means kickstand. So that means that one foot's going to go in the back. You see me switching legs here. And the weight is going to go, I'm going to shift my body weight to my front leg. All right, working on some figure eights as well. Trying to stay low, keep my quads engaged, keep that band pushing out as well, and toss it up to a halo. Sorry about the angle, I can't really see that there, but if you could imagine, just moving the kettlebell behind my head and around in a halo motion. Now, I just really wanted to see if these two patterns could connect together. You do like a figure eight into a halo somehow. I don't know. It would just be fun to play around with. Remember this important principle that your warm-up is an open canvas for you to play and to work on different little skills, to work on different little mobility and stability pieces. We're doing some lat pull downs here. I like to do these banded so I can do it single arm, just so we can really focus the mind on the lats themselves. Man, I'm very grateful for these weights. I got these all for free. My brother was moving and he had just a few things lying around. He didn't want to take these with him, so I gladly took them off his hands. And I didn't know at the time that I was really going to use them. I was like, man, maybe one day down the road, but I guess that day comes eventually. And here we go. So always keep your eyes and ears out for people who, may have some things that they're sitting on that they're not using. You could take them off their hands and put them to good use. It's much better and more economical than buying brand new weights. Starting with these reverse lunges, we're keeping the knee over toe form still working on engaging the quads the most. You see how my chest is straight up and down, and my hip crease actually isn't closing in all that much because I'm keeping my chest up, because I'm shoving my knee forward. It's a little bit different than the Bulgarian split squats or those rear foot elevated ones, where we hinge our chest forward towards our knee a little bit more, and that causes us to use our glutes, which is a good thing in those. Pairing reverse lunges with pike push-ups. This is a great bodyweight exercise for your shoulders, upper traps, triceps as well. It's a really challenging position just to hold because with your feet up on top of something, your hip flexors are doing a lot of work to keep your body in this shape. Wow, check out that knee bend. for some reason, these are so much harder than overhead press, even though the overall load is a lot lighter. Just having to hold yourself in that position is definitely very challenging. Oh, what happened to the weights here? Changing it up. So I swapped to a 40-pound kettlebell in one hand, and so that I could move some of those bigger weights over to that right hand dumbbell. This is just something that you have to do whenever you've got at-home equipment. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. You're just holding heavy stuff anyways. I found this kettlebell on Facebook Marketplace. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but there are always people selling fitness equipment on there. So if you need anything, don't buy a treadmill, don't buy a weird cable machine that you're never going to use and it's going to sit in the corner. Just buy some free weights that you can have around. You can even sit them in a room somewhere. Say you want to start working out, pick something small. Let's say 50 goblet squats a week. Buy a 10-pound kettlebell or a 5-pound kettlebell and just put it in a room that you are in frequently. Every time you enter that room, you have to pay the squat tax and you do 5 squats. It's an easy way to start integrating just movement in general or strength training into your daily life without having to set aside an hour and a half 3 times a week for a big long workout. These are looking good. Going to the ground and pushing up and back. It's as if I'm trying to get the ground directly above the crown of my head. So you touch the ground with the top of your head and then you push it above the top of your head. If you want to start working on these, start with your feet just on the ground and put a pillow between your hands there where you're going to put your head. That way you have less range of motion that you have to actually push, and you have something soft for your head to touch when you go down to the ground too. All right, finally, we're going to cross load the weight here. Since I have a kettlebell, I decided, might as well just hold it in a front rack position. And we're going to keep the front rack arm over our working leg. That way it's not too much of a stability challenge, but it's still just at least a little bit present there. This is a great way to sneak in extra work for your upper body, especially if you want to work on your grip or your shoulder stabilization muscles, or just the front rack position in general. If you front squat or if you want to have better shoulder mechanics, hold one thing in front rack, hold the other thing down by your side while you do something that's weighted. You know, I feel a little conflicted about lunges in general in this program. They always feel a little bit too easy to cheat on. Like, I'm going to use that back leg to push off of. It's just inevitable, which isn't a bad thing. That's kind of the point of lunges, is to have the weight split almost 50-50 really between front and back, and then you get the chance to work on hip extension while your foot is behind your body as well. So you get the quads in there, you get your glutes in there and everything. But for me, I want to put the most work on that front leg. So I think I actually would prefer step-ups or even like loaded side squats, where side single leg squats where you're standing on a platform and you lower with your foot down to the side, almost like a pistol squat progression. So I think I might substitute those in later on. We'll see it change up just a little bit. I really love reverse lunges. It's just that I don't own enough weight in order for these to really be challenging. Wow, these are exhausting. The single leg supersets really get the heart rate up, which in this case is unfortunate, but you know what? It's all good stuff anyways. I'm really working hard to lower that heart rate. Just get back in a place where I feel like I can maximally recruit my muscles here for these lunges. And that's that. This set of pike push-ups might be one of the hardest things I've ever done. At least it felt like that in the moment. It's probably not true. But dang, when you are having trouble catching your breath and you've got 6 more of these to go and you're upside down, it's just tough. I would suggest if you're going to superset this or put it in a circuit, put it with lighter, easier stuff than single leg work, because man, we just barely squeezed that last one out. Okay, now finally, at long last, at the end of 2 whole weeks, we get to our ring dips. For the first time here, repping them out. We're trying to break 90 degrees just barely, and then push it right back up there. The stability challenge is pretty high for me because I don't do a lot of these. I'm kind of new to the ring work game, so as we get stronger and just more used to balancing on these things, I'll be able to manipulate the dips a little bit more, shove the elbows back maybe to target the triceps, keep myself a little more upright. It's all a challenge in the doorway, but it's dips. Dips are dips either way. Oh yeah, we're back with some calf raises. My favorite. Doing 12 reps of these. Trying my very hardest not to use my hands to push through these reps and assist. But they're there for when I need them. So what ends up happening is I get the first maybe 5 or 6 reps, basically just purely with the leg alone. And then I need those hands to really start, 1, helping me balance, and 2, just take a little bit of the pressure off until the end of the rep. Single leg calf raises are very important to work on right now in this foundations phase because I'm trying to clean up my left and right imbalances. That means that 1, I'll be able to notice which side feels weaker, I feel less confident and less stable on, and number 2, whenever I'm actually focusing my mind on that side, I can really push the weak side to do work past the point that I would be able to if we were using both legs at the same time, and I could make up for the slack with my stronger side. So single leg work, single arm work, we call it unilateral, one side. That is one of the best ways to train if you want to basically clean up any imbalances that you have and bring strength parity between your left and right sides. It's never going to be perfect, but you're definitely going to catch up your weak side. I really enjoyed the dips here. It's just really fun to use the rings in any way, and so I'm going to try to move more exercises to them that I can. But yeah, these are just really fun. Definitely dipping a little bit too low for the control that I have right now. I need to slow the rep down and really focus on feeling how far down I'm going without looking with my eyes. So I can understand when I'm at parallel, when I'm just below it, when I'm above it. I'm excited for these to feel better and better week to week. Progress is coming, and I know that for a fact. All I have to do is just be consistent and just keep sticking to it. Now, I haven't looked this up yet, but maybe we could play a little homework game. What is the number one most injured body part in sport in general and in parkour specifically? I would argue that it's going to be hands down the ankle from different types of rolls, ligament injuries, tears, Achilles injuries and tears, just what's it called? Tendinopathy, tendonitis. Yeah, it's definitely going to be the ankle. So these calf raises are probably one of the most important things that I could do here, especially spending so much time at the bottom, getting so much exposure. Your nervous system is a very important system to train, actually. And that's what we're doing with strength training a lot of the times. We don't know it. We think it's all muscle. Your muscle and everything else in your body is so intricately and intimately linked. So we are working on just bringing exposure and awareness to our body's position by dropping that heel low and low and low. Hey, don't cheat. Don't cheat. Oh. So you can see that my knee starts to bend as I get more and more fatigued. And then I have to pop it straight at the end. My body's trying to recruit other muscles. It's like, hey guys, we can't stand up, so we got to use our strong quads and hamstrings to do this. Once I start to get to that point, though, I just put my other foot on top just to give a little boost up to the top of the rep. And then I try to control using my working leg all the way back down, which of course is extra super hard at the end of the set whenever you're the most fatigued. But that's when you can gain the most muscle growth as well. So just working that in. The dips, once again, trying to turn the rings out at the top, express that control. We find that our shoulders and hips specifically, they exhibit the most stability and control in an externally rotated position. So in an environment where our hands are attached to something, or our feet, and we can't necessarily spin them, we still have a lot of slack in the system where we can externally rotate at the shoulder joint, keeping our hand in the same position, and that kind of winds the system. It screws the shoulder into the socket, wrapping up the ligaments around the shoulder joint and utilizing our shoulder stabilizing muscles to tighten up our shoulder blade onto our back. That way, anything we do is controlled, and it means that all of our load-bearing muscles can take that weight instead of the ones that aren't supposed to during the movement. Puts us in the best possible position. It's not always something that you're able to do in sport and in daily life. You're moving, you're constantly being fluid, you're touching different positions, you're reaching in different ways constantly. But if we can train ourselves in these ideal positions, that means our body's going to resort to them the most. It's like something that you know, like the back of your hand, is probably something you've done a million times. We'll do the right thing a million times, and that's the thing that's going to pop up whenever you least expect it. Yeah, at least we hope. I'm throwing a lot out there. You let me know in the comments if you have any questions, to define any terms, to challenge anything that I'm saying, or to just talk about your experience with working out as well. Please, let's bring some discussion to this, because that's how I've learned the most, is by listening to people talk about their exercise experiences and teach me what they know. The parkour community is huge and very diverse and full of people who have had a pretty wide range of movement experience, like from karate to dance to traditional sports to lifting to yoga and just different very specific styles of movement too. We've got like trapeze and ropes and silks and stuff. So we find that people in parkour really gravitate towards different sport and movement modalities. Bringing that experience in and sharing it with community as we train together and jam together and just hang out has been one of the greatest moments of my life. Also, one of the places where I've learned the most about movement in general. So I think we sharpen each other in that way. Let's talk about these chin-ups. Very, very interesting movement here. The chin-up is a classic pulling exercise where our biceps are in a position to actually do a lot more work than they would be if we had turned our hands over. A chin-up is generally considered a little bit easier than regular pull-up, which is with the hands facing away from you. But if you can position your body correctly and have the right mind and muscle focus, you can actually target your biceps a lot in a chin-up. I hate doing curls, to be honest. I despise them. It's the worst. And also, it requires setting up dumbbells. So in order to work on my biceps, I'd rather program in something like chin-ups where I can get more bang for the buck, get some more back in there as well. Working on my grip strength a little bit more too, and also target the biceps. So we're really working on that here. Doing them nice and slow. I want to make sure that I can feel my biceps working, straightening out all the way, getting that good stretched position. I need to work on my scapular control though. Let's see if we can keep those depressed and pushed down. Working on tuck holds in a ring support position. So I'm keeping the rings at least parallel, hopefully externally rotated, so kind of a V, an outward facing V shape. And keeping the chest nice and tall, keeping the shoulders down away from the ears. You want the knees to be parallel or higher for 5 whole seconds. We're doing 3 reps of that. You're allowed to touch the ground in between your reps. Take a couple breaths, bring it right back up. There's a version of this, I think I'm going to start doing it where you just stay in the support the whole time. But, that's close enough. So that's it with today's workout, y'all. Let me know what you think. Like I said earlier, let's keep getting stronger. Be good, as always. Peace be with you.